Signing an NBA contract feels like winning the lottery, but for some players, the cash disappears faster than a three-point shot. We love to watch the luxury lifestyles and the multi-million-dollar highlights, but the reality behind the scenes can be incredibly brutal. From elite scorers who lost everything, to predatory lenders to stars who completely mismanaged their cash flow. These players proved that no matter how much you make on the court, you can still lose it all overnight. Darius Miles. Darius Miles entered the NBA straight out of high school as the third overall pick in the 2000 draft, instantly captivating fans with his explosive athleticism and capturing a massive rookie contract that set the stage for nearly $62 million in career earnings. Playing for the Clippers, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Portland Trail Blazers, Miles was a premier rising star. But a severe knee injury in 2006 derailed his career, causing his massive income to stop abruptly. Unfortunately, Miles had already established an incredibly unsustainable, ultra-luxury lifestyle during his peak years. He built a massive collection of high-end custom sports cars, frequently purchased incredibly expensive diamond jewelry, and handed out huge cash allowances to childhood friends and an expanded social circle. The financial bleeding escalated dramatically when Miles entered into a series of highly speculative, poorly managed commercial real estate and raw land deals that completely collapsed. He signed personal guarantees on large development loans right before the property market turned, leaving him fully exposed to aggressive banking foreclosures. By September 2016, the former lottery pick stood before a federal judge in Illinois and filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy protection. His filings revealed he was drowning in debt, owing massive sums to the heirs, child support entities, and private lenders. To satisfy his creditors, a bankruptcy trustee ordered a complete liquidation of his personal property, forcing an auction of his firearms, televisions, custom sneakers, and even a signed LeBron James jersey, leaving his millions completely destroyed. Mookie Blaylock. Mookie Blaylock was a highly respected, premier defensive guard in the NBA, earning an all-star selection, making 6 consecutive all-defensive teams, and banking an impressive $31 million over a stellar 13-season career spent primarily with the Atlanta Hawks and New Jersey Nets. Blaylock was so culturally prominent during the 1990s that the legendary rock band Pearl Jam originally named themselves Mookie Blaylock in his honor. However, his retirement years were deeply marred by severe personal struggles, severe substance dependency, and an utter lack of financial management that systematically erased his life savings. The gradual draining of his multi-million-dollar accounts culminated in a horrific, high-profile tragedy that completely shattered his remaining assets. In May 2013, Blaylock was driving a luxury vehicle in Clayton County, Georgia, when he suffered a sudden medical emergency related to severe chronic alcoholism, causing his vehicle to cross the median and slam head-on into an oncoming car. The violent collision resulted in the tragic death of a mother of 5 and left Blaylock facing severe criminal charges. The ensuing legal nightmare completely devastated his remaining financial reserves. Blaylock was forced to expend millions on top-tier criminal defense attorneys, massive civil wrongful death settlements, and ongoing medical care. In 2014, he pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide and was sentenced to a lengthy prison term. The absolute destruction of his public reputation, combined with the forced liquidation of his properties and assets to cover the massive civil court judgments, left the former defensive mastermind completely broke. Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson, famously known as Grandmama from his iconic multi-million-dollar Converse commercial campaign, was a transcendent power forward who was selected first overall in the 1991 NBA draft. Johnson signed an unprecedented, historic 12-year, $84 million contract extension with the Charlotte Hornets, which was the most lucrative deal in sports history at the time, before moving on to the New York Knicks. Over his highly celebrated career, Johnson accumulated over $83 million in baseline salary alone, but his post-NBA life quickly crumbled into a chaotic web of intense domestic legal battles and severe overspending. His rapid downfall serves as a premier example of how unchecked domestic obligations can instantly fracture a massive sports fortune. Johnson's primary financial destruction stemmed from a series of highly punitive, concurrent child support disputes involving multiple women across several states. He fathered 5 children with 4 different women, and during his playing days, he agreed to massive monthly support payments that matched his elite salary. Once chronic back injuries forced him into an early retirement in 2001, his massive income stream stopped, but the court-ordered support amounts remained unchanged. By 2014, Johnson fell into massive arrears, owing hundreds of thousands of dollars in back payments. Facing immediate arrest warrants, Johnson was forced to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in California, listing zero liquid cash against millions in liabilities. He was forced to turn over his primary luxury properties and rely on restructuring plans just to survive the legal onslaught. Chris Washburn. Chris Washburn was a sensationally gifted, towering 6'11" center who was selected as the 3rd overall pick in the 1986 NBA draft by the Golden State Warriors, signing a massive, multi-million-dollar rookie contract that was supposed to secure his financial future. Tragically, Washburn's professional career is remembered as one of the fastest and most complete downfalls in sports history. His entire multi-million-dollar fortune and athletic legacy were completely destroyed by a massive, unchecked addiction to crack cocaine that began during his college days and spiraled fully out of control the second he received his rookie payout. Washburn spent his rookie wealth recklessly, funding a dangerous, drug-fueled lifestyle, living in high-end hotels, and completely ignoring his professional athletic obligations. His performance plummeted, and by 1989, after failing 3 consecutive league drug tests, the NBA issued a lifetime ban against him. Without an athletic income, his remaining cash reserves were completely consumed by his drug habits and mounting legal fees. Washburn became completely broke, losing his vehicles to repossessions and his properties to foreclosures. His situation grew so extreme that the former 3rd overall draft pick spent 3 harrowing years completely homeless, sleeping on cardboard boxes in abandoned buildings and crack houses across Houston. Washburn eventually achieved sobriety years later, but his original multi-million-dollar basketball empire was completely vaporized, leaving him to start over from absolute zero. Delonte West. Delonte West was a tough, respected guard who played 8 seasons in the NBA after being selected in the 1st round of the 2004 NBA draft by the Boston Celtics. During his career with the Celtics, Cavaliers, Supersonics, and Mavericks, he earned roughly $16 million in salary, seemingly setting himself up for long-term financial security. Unlike many former players who lost their fortunes through bad investments or scams, West's downfall was driven by mental illness and addiction. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder during his career, he later struggled with substance abuse, leaving him unable to manage his finances. During the 2011 NBA lockout, he revealed he was running out of money, reportedly applying for a job at Home Depot and briefly working at a furniture store, while also spending heavily to support his family. In the years that followed, heartbreaking videos showed West living on the streets, shocking the basketball world. In 2020, Mark Cuban helped pay for his rehabilitation, but despite several attempts to rebuild his life, West's fortune disappeared, making his story one of the NBA's most tragic financial and personal collapses. The bright lights of the stadium eventually turn off, and when they do, the real world catches up fast. These downfalls show that without a solid team in your corner and a real plan for the future, even a Hall of Fame legacy can't save your bank account. Which of these financial collapses did you find the most shocking? Let us know down in the comments. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the breakdown, and make sure to subscribe to the channel so you stay locked in for our next video.